Before the dawn of mankind, other civilizations were already traveling across the stars. On the distant planet Somaris, a skilled pilot named Mills watches his young daughter Navine play happily along the beach. As his wife Alya joins him, Mills explains that he's taken a long 2-year exploration mission. Normally, he only flies short runs, but this time, the extra pay will cover an expensive treatment for Navine's mysterious illness. He teaches his daughter how to whistle with her hands before saying goodbye, promising to return as soon as he can. Sometime later, Mills is at the helm of a massive interstellar transport ship, responsible for a crew of passengers traveling in cryogenic sleep. Everything goes smoothly, until the ship encounters an unexpected field of meteorites. Massive rocks slam into the hull, tearing it apart. Mills rushes to the cockpit, fighting to stabilize the vessel while sending out a distress signal. But it's too late. The ship breaks in half and spirals toward a nearby planet. As the ground races toward them, Mills' last thought is of Navine, before everything goes black. When he finally wakes, the ship's computer announces they've crash-landed on an unknown world. Mills groans in pain and realizes a shard of metal is embedded in his abdomen. Gritting his teeth, he pulls it out and cauterizes the wound himself. After suiting up, he begins to explore the wreckage. The cryochambers are shattered, everyone else is dead. Grief hits him hard. He arms himself with a laser rifle and steps outside into a strange, misty landscape, where the shadows of enormous creatures move beneath the surface of a swamp. Everywhere he looks, there's devastation, torn metal, scattered bodies, no signs of life. When he checks the computer logs, he discovers that the escape pod is on the other half of the ship, which broke off and crashed miles away. Mills sends another SOS transmission, reporting that he's stranded on uncharted territory. Desperate and hopeless, he almost ends his life right there. But the sound of Navine's voice, recording she sent him before his departure, gives him the strength to keep going. Just then, the computer detects a life sign in one of the remaining cryopods. Mills hurries to investigate and finds a young girl, Koa, still alive inside. He pulls her out and carries her back to the wreckage before nightfall. On their way, Mills spots a gigantic paw print in the mud, far larger than any he's ever seen. The horrifying realization hits him. This isn't just an unknown planet. It's Earth, 65 million years ago. And it's crawling with dinosaurs. That night, Mills dreams of Navine asking where he is, a question that haunts him every time he wakes. At dawn, he decides to get Koa to safety. He scans for the other half of the ship but can't pinpoint its location. As he ventures out, he passes enormous bones, proof of the monstrous predators that roam these lands. Suddenly, a blast of boiling water from a geyser knocks him back. He stumbles to his feet, then spots a metallic glint in the distance, the other ship half, resting atop a mountain. But before he can plan a route, a small dinosaur ambushes him. He struggles with the creature, beating it off with his weapon until it finally collapses. As he catches his breath, he hears noises from the forest, and realizes Koa has wandered off. He chases her through the jungle until they both tumble down a slope, landing beside the carcass of a massive dead dinosaur. But before they can move, the trees begin to shake. Something even larger is coming. Mills grabs Koa and drags her back toward the ship, barely escaping the towering predator that emerges from the shadows. Koa's injured from the fall, and as Mills treats her wounds, he discovers they don't share a common language. The ship's translator is broken. To communicate, he spreads red dust on a digital slate and draws a picture of the mountain, explaining that they need to reach it to survive. Koa draws her parents and says the word family. Mills nods and lies, telling her that her family is waiting for her on the mountain. That night, Mills transmits another SOS signal, reporting that he's found a survivor. Meanwhile, Koa finds and plays Mills' video logs, recordings of Navine's messages. Through them, we learn the heartbreaking truth. During the first year of Mills' journey, Navine's illness worsened. At first, she was cheerful and proud of her father. But as time passed, her messages turned bitter. She grew angry that he wasn't there. Eventually, she stopped sending messages altogether. When Mills finds Koa watching the tapes, he quickly shuts them off and announces that they're leaving. After gathering supplies, Mills and Koa begin their long trek through the wilderness. The terrain is rough, and danger lurks in every shadow. Yet with each challenge, every time Mills helps her climb or shields her from harm, they grow closer. One afternoon, Koa notices a red glow streaking across the sky, but says nothing. Later, to relieve the tension, she playfully throws berries at Mills. He scolds her after scanning them and discovering they're poisonous. Their uneasy calm is broken when a giant insect lands on Mills' neck. He swats it, leaving a sticky slime on his hand. The goo is so strong it rips bark off a tree, making Koa laugh. Mills teases her back, but their laughter dies when a nearby tree crashes down. They follow the noise and find a baby dinosaur trapped in the same sticky sap. Koa rushes to free it, despite Mills' warnings. Together, they pull the creature out, only to watch, moments later, as a pack of predators tears it apart. Mills drags Koa into hiding so she won't see, but she knows, and she cries quietly. They continue their journey, stopping by a waterfall to rest. Mills' wound is worsening, but memories of Navine keep him moving. Koa picks a flower and convinces him to wear it behind his ear, making them both laugh. Later, Mills climbs a tree to rescan the terrain, finally spotting the mountain again. But when he shakes off a bug from his arm, the branch breaks, he falls hard, dislocating his shoulder. Koa helps him push it back into place, but the sound attracts a pack of dinosaurs. Mills tells her to run and fights them off with bombs and gunfire. When Koa is cornered by flying creatures, Mills saves her, but one beast drags her away. He chases and shoots it down, pulling her free. Terrified, Koa withdraws from him. To comfort her, Mills whistles softly, the same way he used to with Navine. Koa answers with her own whistle, signaling trust. That night, they shelter in a cave. Mills sets up sensors and studies the sky, noticing a small meteor approaching. He assumes it'll pass safely. Koa, meanwhile, shows him one of Navine's tapes. Mills hesitates, then plays it. Hearing his daughter's voice again breaks him. Later, while he tries to sleep, he dreams of Alya's message, the day she told him Navine had died. Tears fill his eyes. Suddenly, the alarm blares. A creature is nearby. Mills rushes to Koa and finds a parasite crawling into her mouth. He pulls it out with a tool just before she suffocates. Then, the sensors go wild again. Something enormous is outside. A massive dinosaur lunges at the cave entrance. Mills fires repeatedly, driving it back long enough for them to escape through a narrow tunnel. But another smaller predator follows them through the dark. After hours of crawling, they hit a dead end. Exhausted, Mills tries to dig through the rocks but gives up. Furious, Koa repeats the word family, begging him not to quit. Mills tries to tell her family is gone, but she doesn't understand. Then inspiration strikes. He uses bombs to blast a hole big enough for her to crawl through. He hands her the rest of the explosives for protection and tells her to wait. Koa slips through and confirms there's space beyond. Mills tries to follow, but the tunnel collapses, cutting them apart. Frustrated, he shouts her name, but gets no reply. Moments later, he hears the growl of the smaller dinosaur behind him. He grabs his weapon and lures the beast into the open cave. Using his scanner to track it, he waits until it lunges, then fires. The creature attacks, biting his arm, but Mills activates an ultrasonic pulse that disorients it. Using the distraction, he retrieves his gun and kills it. Meanwhile, Koa emerges outside and fashions a makeshift spear from a giant bone. She smears it with poisonous berries and wraps it in leaves, preparing for whatever comes next. When Mills escapes the cave, he finally sees the full horror of the sky. The meteor he spotted earlier was just a fragment. The real asteroid, the one that will wipe out the dinosaurs, is heading straight for Earth, and it's only hours away. He runs through the forest, searching for Koa, until her scream pierces the air. A dinosaur is chasing her. She hides inside a hollow tree as Mills sprints toward her, only to fall into quicksand. He sinks fast, calling out for help. Koa hears him and waits for the right moment. When the dinosaur pokes its head into the tree, she throws a bomb at it, killing it instantly. Then she runs to the pit, bending a branch toward Mills so he can grab hold. With her help, he escapes, covered in mud and gasping for breath. They hug tightly, relieved to be alive, and start running toward the mountain. By evening, they reach the base. Mills ties a rope around Koa and lets her climb first. She cleverly secures it to trees and rocks so he can follow safely. At last, they find the other half of the ship. Mills powers up the system and discovers that a rescue vessel is on its way. Koa searches for her parents' pods, only to find shattered cryochambers. Furious and heartbroken, she confronts Mills for lying. He finally tells her the truth, that his own daughter died while he was away, and he can't bear to lose another child. Koa softens and hugs him. Then the sky starts to rain fire, fragments of the approaching meteor. They run into the escape pod and prepare for launch. But just as Mills is about to activate it, a rock smashes into the ship, sending the pod tumbling down the mountain. Both are knocked unconscious. Koa wakes first and tries to launch, but the computer refuses. The pod isn't level. As Mills regains consciousness, a massive dinosaur appears and attacks. With their gun jammed, Mills runs outside to fix it while Koa hides. Another dinosaur joins the fight, cornering him. Thinking fast, Koa plays one of Navine's tapes on the scanner, projecting a hologram of the girl into the clearing. Mills freezes as he sees his daughter's image glowing in front of him, and so do the dinosaurs. Confused, they lunge at the hologram. Using the distraction, Mills grabs his weapon and fires, killing the first beast. The second one rams the ship, trying to reach Koa, but Mills chases it down and empties the gun into its chest. It collapses, dead. The impact from its fall pushes the pod into the proper position for launch, but before Mills can board, the wounded dinosaur from the cave appears one last time. Mills leads it toward the geysers and dodges blasts of scalding steam. The creature steps directly into one, the boiling water searing its face. Still, it keeps coming. Suddenly, Koa appears, and drives her poison spear straight into its eye. The beast thrashes violently and stumbles onto another geyser. A final burst of steam engulfs it, burning it alive. Breathing heavily, Mills and Koa return to the pod and climb inside. They launch seconds before the massive asteroid slams into Earth, igniting the skies and ending the age of dinosaurs. As the pod ascends through the atmosphere, the autopilot locks onto the rescue beacon. Mills closes his eyes, imagining he's finally going home to Navine. Koa quietly holds his hand, and together, they drift toward the stars, the last survivors of a world that will soon be reborn.